Hello, everybody. This is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I just got into long position on this morning's E-mini Nasdaq. So markets opened recently, actually not too long ago, about 10 minutes ago. So I'm in pretty early, but looked like a good setup, so that's why I'm in. So I'm going to go over the analysis. Seems things are moving quickly already, over 2 grand in profits. So I'm going to go over the analysis and then we'll see what happens. So markets opened up here, around here, around 9:32. We had a nice bull bar here, shot up. There was this spring. We had a buy imbalance, but I didn't get in right away. It's not really my trading style to get in right away on the springs or up thrusts. Some people like to do that, but I like to wait for more confirmation, which is what I was doing. So I got in on this correction here, this pullback right here after I saw that the wave was confirmed. So if we walk through the analysis, right, pre-market we had, if you look at pre-market, this is a huge amount of demand right here, right? So that's notable, right? In my analysis, this is significant. So this is, I would call it initial demand. Could be initial demand accumulation. They're similar, right? And then what I liked here is that I saw the demand steadily increasing. I like this. You see, it went here small, but then larger, and again, we've got a nice amount. So we had the initial demand, and then it's like trickling in slowly, not right away. So demand is renewing and expanding. And expanding. All right. And at the same time, when I compare to this demand and this here, this starts to look to me like, no supply. It looks like we're moving up pretty quickly. It is early on in the morning of the market, so things tend to move quicker now. So that's fine. We'll see when we hit this. All right, so let me get that no supply. All right, and actually, when I got in, this was already pretty big. If I remember correctly, it was around here. So I'm gonna draw it to here. All right. Also, let's see what we got here. We got, the cumulative buying was expanding. This is cumulative selling is weak. All right, let's get in here. Weak. All right, what I really liked was this M pace here, which is the offers are dominating, the bids. At this point, it's not just outpacing, it's dominating. And they really are. If we look at, this, and, we just see they are dominating. All right, so we also had this spring and this buy imbalance, which I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about this interesting pullback, which I think is interesting. So we had here spring. We had a spring buy. plus a, well, and a plus 45 buy imbalance. Okay, which is also very important. So, okay, let me dive a little deeper into it. Looks like our trade is doing well so far. So let me talk about the take profit level that I set here. So the take profit level, if we zoom out, it was, it's hard to see here. It was because it was like an area, right? This take profit line, it was support here, and then it became resistance here and resistance here. So I tried to find, where it intersects quite a few times, right? So it was support here, resistance, resistance, resistance. I don't have a specific peak. I just wanted for it to intersect several places. So that's what I use as my take profit line. Looks like we're getting there. Looks like we could very well hit it. A lot of cumulative buying coming in right now. That's a lot. All right, so it's interesting because after the markets opened, right, we had all this volume coming in a lot. We had, look at this leg 1371, and we had a buy imbalance. There was more buying as this wave moved down than selling, so that's significant, So this is also, I would call this also, in this case, an effort, no result, because it spent all this volume, 1371, didn't produce any selling, like these previous waves, and it produced more buying. So I'm going to add to this that it's also an effort, no result, right? So we got a lot of points there. Now, when we got to this pullback, this minus 29 pullback, what was interesting about it is that when I saw it and look at where it's located and look at how many waves is it higher, like if you look at this horizontal line coming here, it's higher, it's a higher low. Not only is it a higher low, but it's higher than all these previous lows. So that's significant. So it tried to sell, but we're higher. The last time price was here at this low, it was right here. So that's a significant higher low. It's a really significant higher low. So that played into my analysis quite a bit. Significant higher low. It's not just a higher low, it's higher than the previous, how many waves? It's higher than the previous, could be 30 waves or so. If you start counting all these waves, it's higher than like the previous 30 or 40 waves. So I call that a significant higher low. And so at that point, I was waiting for price to take out this swing point, which it did. And that's where I got in, right? So of course, it would be better to get in at the spring, but at the spring, right, I didn't have this data point of being a significant higher low, which shows that, supply to me looked like it was done. So that's why I tend to like to wait until there's more points of confluence than getting in aggressively. Now, some people like to trade more aggressively, and that's fine. It's a different risk reward. You'd have a higher risk reward if you would have traded this more aggressively at this point, right? So let's count the points of confluence, right? So what played into the analysis when I got into the trade, I saw, we had this spring buy, so that was bullish, right? We had the buy imbalance, so that's already 2 points. I call this effort no result because there's so much volume was spent. We didn't get any selling, so that was a lot of effort spent. So that's already 3 points, right? Initial demand, that's 4 points. We see demand renewing and expanding, that's 5 points. No supply here, that's 6 points. Weak cumulative selling, that's 7 points. Cumulative buying expanding, that's 8 points. Offers are dominating the bids, that's 9 points. And they're totally dominating. Maybe you could give it even 2 points. I'll just say 9 points so far. And then we got the significant higher low, because it's higher than the previous 30, 40 waves or something like that. So that's 10 points as I see. And there's one more point, and if you can guess it, that's like a bonus if you can get it, So I'm going to explain that now. So this 18 here is very interesting. Why is it interesting? Because I'm looking at this plus 18 and this plus 68 here, right? And, they're somewhat similar. I mean, this one is a longer wave. But this was 18 and this was 68, and this just jumped up. So this is ease of movement. So I really like that. All right, this was ease of movement. You compare this 18 to the 68, right? It took more effort for price to rise, but that was good because that was the initial demand. And when this came, the plus 18 with the buy and balance, it just shows that, buying was already starting to accumulate here, and then it just jumped right up, and it didn't take much effort. Yeah, it took a bunch of volume, 1158, but it didn't take a whole lot of positive delta for price to jump up, so that's why I'm calling it ease of movement. So I think we got, oh, there it is. Okay, I was going to say we're one tick away. All right, so that's that. Really pleased with the trade. $11,350 in profit. All right, so let's get those order fills. All right, so we got in here. Like I said, I was waiting for it to take out this pivot high. So we got in here, wrote it out of here. Things are still looking strong, right? With the demand. So, I mean, at this point, it looks like it could likely go up still. I don't know by how much. But, that was my initial analysis. I wanted to exit. This seems like a congestion zone here, right? This was support, resistance, resistance, resistance. So, I'd be looking at, how does the order flow look at this level? We'll see, but I'm very pleased with the trade. So this is an interesting setup because this is more kind of like complex analysis, getting more creative, looking at this significant higher low. I haven't really used this term before, but I do notice these sorts of things. And so, there's a lot of things you can mix and match in the analysis, and that's what I'm doing. So we had an effort, no result here. We had an ease of movement, and here we had our classical, basically demand renewal and, supply exhaustion, no supply. That's a classic, Also, we could see it in the cumulative delta. All right, so that's it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.